As Duncan struggles with his affections for Liberty, the tensions involving Liberty, Duncan, and Mrs. Lewis continue to simmer in chapter 1620. Mrs. Lewis is certain that Duncan must continue to pursue Liberty, and she has faith that her son's unflinching resolve will eventually win Liberty over. She thinks that beyond Liberty's icy demeanor may lurk warmer feelings that would take time and effort to uncover. Mr. Lewis, on the other hand, is more realistic and understands the futility of trying to compel a love relationship, realizing that true love cannot be forced. He counsels his wife against attempting to exert influence over Liberty's emotions. In a light-hearted aside, Mr. Lewis states that he would interfere unless it is red and rainy, implying that even he might take drastic action in the face of impossible circumstances. Duncan is absorbed with thoughts of Liberty while he waits for Liberty's return, while Mrs. Lewis mulls over her next course of action. He frets about the potential impact of their chat with Mrs. Lewis on Liberty's perception of him. He is excited to visit Liberty, but he has a responsibility to care for Sonny while he is still in his charge. As he paces back and forth near the playground's entrance, Duncan's inner conflict is obvious. He is desperate to track out Liberty so he may see how she takes the current chat. He is obviously worried about Liberty and he worries that the insistence of Mrs. Lewis may have caused Liberty to distance herself even more. The situation changes when Sonny decides it's time to depart after playing for a while and shouts out for his uncle Duncan. However, Duncan is so preoccupied with his thoughts that he initially misses Sonny's cries. Sonny approaches the mall personnel to ask for help in locating Duncan as his impatience grows. The crew steps in and queries Duncan about his relationship to the boy. Quickly introducing himself as Sonny's uncle, Duncan approaches the little boy. As soon as he sees Duncan, Sonny expresses his relief and recommends him, telling the staff that he is very good and asking to be allowed to pick him up. Duncan reassures the employees that he is in charge of Sonny and he came with Liberty, who is currently shopping. The staff permits Duncan and Sonny to go together after observing their comfort and familiarity with one another. He is reminded that his mother paid a deposit. Before they leave, Sonny reminds Duncan that his mother had paid a deposit for the playground. This prompts Duncan to navigate the administrative process of refunding the deposit before they depart. Sonny questions Duncan about his mother's whereabouts as they leave the playground because he can't help but be curious. This open ended query emphasizes the ambiguity surrounding Liberty's departure and her place in Duncan and Sonny's life.